Hi, it's Rabbi Lewis wishing you an early Shabbat shalom. And this is going to be somewhat unusual Shabbat for me, and that is I will not be at Mitzvah tonight. I am going to be making my Chattanooga theater debut in the Seed Theater's production of Angels in America at the Barking Legs Theater. And I do see this as part of my work. It is community outreach because the Seed Theater is a fantastic organization that does lots of great, not just theater, but also support for LGBTQ plus community, and in specifically of late, really reaching out and supporting transgender community who truly feel under threat at this time. And the work they do is just so incredibly important. And when you see it up close, you see how fulfilling and how good what they're doing is. And so to be in one of their productions in a play, Angels in America, that I've learned to be such an important play to so many people for what it stands for, what it means, really quite an honor. And the character I play is the rabbi. I know we joke, I say I've been typecast, but it's an Orthodox rabbi. So it's not really something that's within my true frame of reference internally. And it's a European rabbi who came over to America and is sort of out of touch with all the changes and the assimilation, and he's lamenting it. And so, some of the portrayals that I've watched online of this character kind of treat him like a buffoon, not just out of touch and kind of phoning it in some ways, but sort of cartoonish. And I actually have felt a stronger kinship as I read the text and recite the text of what this rabbi is really saying. And its key line, I think, is, how we struggled, how we fought for the family, for the Jewish home. Generations before us truly worked hard, not just from what they were leaving in Europe to come here, but here working really hard to establish Jewish life and Jewish institutions so that we would all have a place of central meeting and opportunities to practice and to be together. And, he's some ways, he drifts off into being truly out of touch because he's lamenting that people take on these anglicized names rather than the ancient, Jewish or Yiddish names. That's kind of where we start to diverge. But I truly get, as a rabbi in 2025, the feeling of, honoring the people who came before us, who established our sacred places, who established our institutions so that we have mechanisms to come together to worship, to learn, to celebrate holidays, to just have social programming that bring Jewish people together and Jewish families together for the purpose of feeling a sense of community and elevation. And this is part of what the Torah portion, PARASHAT VAYAKHEIL, talks about, is Moses gathers, Vayakhel. He gathers all the people together for the purpose of bringing together the last pieces of building the tabernacle, a central place where the community can gather for sacred purpose and where God can dwell. Now, does God only dwell in the tabernacle? No, we never will say that. God can dwell anywhere. The rabbis will say anywhere that two people share words of Torah, the Shekhinah, God's presence, is there. That's in the Talmud. We also believe that God is within all of us. But when we come together, when we gather as a Kehillah, community, we have opportunities to sense a heightened sense of purpose and a sense of commonality and togetherness. And that's something that at 923 Macaulay, that's our purpose at Mitzvah Congregation, is the people who came before us, the Ox family and all the others who built this wonderful building. They intended it to continue to be a central locus of Jewish life and someplace that people would desire proactively to be at. Not everything can be for everyone, but something that we should remember is the concept of community means it's not just about the I, it's about the we. So even if you say, well, I don't particularly like the melodies they're going to sing at this one service, perhaps your presence there might be important for the other person to see you there. And you can help enhance the feeling in the room for everyone else, rabbi included. With the more people in the sanctuary, sometimes the more elevated and fun things feel. But, it's about the we, and it's not always about personal preference. Now, we do try and appeal to all sorts of different tastes. We do try and appeal to everyone. But at the end of the day, my hope is that we start to recognize that we have a central place. We have lots of times of gathering, and that we're there for each other as a community. And I think that's the core thing that Rabbi Isidore Chemelvitz and Angels in America wants, is for us to remember that it's important to stay together, to honor those who came before us, to establish places and times that we could be together, but also to honor the tabernacle, the history of Moses gathering the people, because Vayakhel, gathering together, is what's the most important part of Judaism. Because anywhere that we gather together, we have the opportunity to enhance holiness and also joy. Anyhow, Shabbat Shalom. See you soon.